I'm Minan. I use REITs to build my parents' retirement income. Today we're visiting this REIT, Mapletree Logistics Trust. Happened that my workplace is near one of the warehouses, so I walked one round, okay, and wanted to understand a little bit more. Based on the latest DPU and the current price of $1.17, that's a 6.94% dividend yield. Sounds attractive, but first, I must declare I am not a shareholder of Mapletree Logistics Trust, and I did this video because I wanted to know if my earlier video on why I avoided industrial REITs is still valid. Though we are reviewing Mapletree Logistics Trust, you still can apply these concepts to analyze your REITs. So let's continue. First, I started with the basic test, which is the gross profit, net profit, and the return on borrowings. After getting figures from the annual report, quarterly reports, gross profit margin 85%. It's better than my Capital DC REIT of 83.8%, and both of my retail REITs, FCT and CICT, which is 72.5 and 72.7. So gross profit margin for Mapletree Logistics Trust is better. And next one, net profit margin. It's 50% with no distribution from joint ventures, though it's below Capital DC REIT of 60% and FCT of 59%, but it is still above CICT of 46%. Lastly, I want to know how well is this portfolio behaving based on the borrowings they have undertaken. So I look at this term called the return on borrowing. It has 6.5% as compared to Capital DC of 10.9%, FCT of 10.3%, and CICT of 7.9%. So these are the basic tests to give myself an understanding. But before we decide to buy, I believe the next thing that I always do in my framework is comparing the price and value. We know that the price is 1.17. Now I would like to analyze other aspects of the business to ascertain its value. But more importantly, I guess what matters to you the most is the distributable income. So I'll use this framework, which I've ever shared in my earlier videos, to help myself have an idea of its value. So first, top 10 tenants exposure. So from this graph, you see that it's kind of similar to retail REITs. That is, the top 10 tenants only contribute 21.7%, as we want to ensure that one customer don't significantly impact the portfolio as compared to data centers. Next, I'm also going to look at the geography of properties and to have an understanding, because when my REIT has overseas portfolio, there's always going to be these currency gains and losses that comes to my mind immediately. But more importantly, the concept is, can I touch the brake? And if this is the first time that you are hearing this concept of touch the brake, I'll leave the video link in the description so that you can learn more. After understanding the geographical locations, more importantly, you need to have the properties. And the question that I'll ask myself, are there changes to the net lettable area? Because this is going to impact the amount of rental income I'm going to receive. So Mapletree Logistics Trust, as of the point of recording, right, it had 187 properties as at 31st March 2024. And now, 31st March 2025, it has 180 properties. And I understood that there are still 4 more divestments that are yet to be completed. The absence of income from divested properties, it has already impacted its rental income last financial year, coupled with an enlarged issued share base. That's why the DPU went down. But more importantly, I'm also kind of puzzled about this divestment. Are they trading the properties every year? In the normal operations of business, I wouldn't have expected my REIT to divest, buy, but it seems like maybe it is a recent thing that has happened in MLT. But I'm just kind of curious of the intent. So if you are a unit holder, let me know in the comments if this is normal. Next, occupancy rates. It's at 96% for the whole portfolio. So yes, it still can improve, but it's not gonna be the biggest distributable income mover. Next, we move to rent reversions. So in this chart, we can see that China is the one that's having a negative. Mapletree Logistics Trust has 70% of revenue from overseas. And because China had lower contributions, it's a debatable point because business can improve again. But what I am not comfortable with is the management has shared explicitly in the annual report, according to my own interpretation, that China portfolio is facing new supply of warehouse space, which resulted in the manager accepting lower rents and securing shorter lease. But I do want to give credits to the manager for being honest. So this is something that I just need to be mindful if I were to consider Mapletree Logistics Trust right now. And as you know that 70% of its revenue come from overseas, I want to be mindful of what's happening overseas, not just the Singapore portfolio. Let's pause here and review. What did I like and dislike about the business? So for the like, it's better than my existing portfolio in terms of the basic tests like gross profit margin, net profit margin. Of course, return on borrowings is almost there. There's also a low tenant concentration risk and coupled with a low cost of debt of 2.7. But what I really don't like is the rental income headwinds caused by divestment. We end out with this question: is the current price worth its value? Something for you to ponder about. And thank you for your time and attention, and thank you for your interest in REITs. You might want to watch this video